Fallen, Book 7 of the Vampire Legends, written by Emma Knight, narrated by Melissa Durbin. Chapter 1. Down, down, down. Rachel fell into the dark hole that encapsulated her body. She spiraled around and around as she twirled and somersaulted through the never-ending blackness. She couldn't help but think of herself as Alice from Alice in Wonderland, one of her favorite movies. Visions of the Cheshire Cat, the Hatter, the Queen of Hearts, and the Mock Turtle swirled around in her head. She didn't know what would be on the ground when she landed, but if it were anything like the fantasy world Alice landed in, she was in for a real surprise. As she continued to fall, now gaining immense speed, her hair blowing around and around in her face, she began to see a strobe light flashing in front of her eyes. She blinked and rubbed her face, not knowing what to make of it. The light continued to get brighter and brighter, and then it started changing colors from white to blue to dark red. Then the strobe stopped, and the light became constant and as bright as ever. It was so bright she had to squint her eyes to keep them open. Thud! Rachel hit the ground with a bang, and a huge cloud of dust rose around her. She sat there for a moment, trying to pull herself together. She pulled her ratty, wind-blown hair out of her face, and while coughing loudly, she swatted away the dust that clouded her lungs. As she looked around, she realized that the red light had disappeared, and she was left sitting in a dimly lit room with no windows or doors. She blinked her eyes, trying to make sense of the space she had just landed in. She pinched her skin quickly to make sure this wasn't a dream, since it all seemed too improbable to really be happening. "Ouch!" she yelled at herself after the pinch. The echo of her voice chimed off the walls of the room, and she heard it reverberate over 100 times. "Hello?" she called out, listening to each echo as it went from loud to soft around her. "Is anyone there?" she asked, listening for a response other than her own. She stood up and looked around, wondering how she didn't get hurt, having fallen so fast and landed so hard onto the stone floor. She dusted herself off and noticed a few scrapes on her legs and blood oozing from one of them. She quickly touched it with her pointer finger and licked it away.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?